Okay, hi guys, welcome back to another video. And today I'm super excited because I have been wanting to do this for forever. I wanted to start a book club for a really long time. I've been an avid reader all my life, except for that brief time in college because college is very stressful. I was not trying to read, but I fell back in love with reading during my senior year of college, junior year of college. And I would always read all these books and I'm like, man, I wish I had somebody to talk to. And I've been wanting to start a book club, but nobody ever wanted to join until now. I started a book club, a girl that I met in college. Her and I had been wanting to start a book club, and then we managed to really get connected to a group of girls, and now we have a full-on book club. And so I'm going to talk books with you today. So for our first book in our book club, we read what is called Neighbor Favor, and this book is amazing. So the author is Christina Forrest, and this is a book, it's a romance. It's about a guy and a girl. They are emailing each other back and forth. She initially reaches out to the author of one of her favorite books. He has a pen name, so it's not his real name on the book. They email back and forth. The emails abruptly stopped one day. He moves to New York where she lives, and they don't know that they're neighbors. And then they ended up falling in love with each other, not knowing that they were the people that they were emailing. And don't worry, I'm not giving away any spoilers, but this book is a 10 out of 10. And so I'll kind of give you a little peek of our book club meetings today. We meet virtually in the colder months, just for everyone's sake. It's just better on availability. So we had a virtual meeting today. So I will let you in on a little bit of that, and I will get back to you in a second. How do you feel about the book overall?
Well, I'm not done with the book yet, y'all.
How far are you?
So I've been busy. But I'm on page 100.
Page 100? Okay.
So.
Okay.
Feel me? By the time I could get through it tonight and tomorrow, I said give me 3 days max.
Okay.
And I'll be done. But it had me hooked when I was reading. So I'm like.
Me too.
I'm like, girl, what that's doing to you?
No, you know what? When I first read it, I'm like, okay, whatever. After the first chapter, when he stopped responding to her emails, I was like, no, he didn't. Oh my God.
Literally. He got her bent.
No, I was shook. That's what really hooked me. Because I'm like, dang, I can't start reading now. He done left her hanging. I need to know what's going to happen from here.
I feel like it started off a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
But he said in the chat, she finished the book quick. I said, so it must get spicy. So I'm something about the shame.
No, she said she read it in 3 days. I'm like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. I gotta get going. This is crazy.
The thing is, I literally told myself, I was like, pace yourself. Because I know how I am. I read really fast, especially when I really like the book. And I was like, okay, pace yourself. And then after the first two chapters, I'm like, I gotta keep going. I had to keep reading it. And then next thing you know, I'm done. And I'm like, okay. So that kind of sucks because I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was a cute book.
I did too, yeah.
But it's also because I'm a hopeless romantic, so I love love.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting here reading this book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cute.
So have y'all read any Colleen? Is it Colleen Hoover? Colleen Hoover? I don't know how to say her last name.
I think Colleen Hoover. I've never read any of them.
I've read 3 of her books.
Really?
I read 2.
And what books did you read?
Start With Us and Verity.
Mm-hmm. That's the book.
The book crazy. Verity. If you haven't read Verity, read Verity. That book is crazy.
Yeah, that book is crazy.
What in the world?
Well, I normally I don't know. I used to read for fun when I was a kid, and then when I got to college, I never read ever because I just did not have time, especially because I was a nursing student. It was just so hard. I never read. I would never like to look at a book again. But then my junior year, after COVID, I started reading for fun again, but it was all self-help books. So this is the first romance book I've read since I was 11, I swear. I have not read one in so long, but I was so happy. I think this was a good start because I really, really like this book a lot.
Yeah. If whoever picked this was a good pick. I'm not done with it, but I can tell I'm gonna like it. So.
It was really good. I got it off of a girl. She's I don't know. I was just looking up books, and this girl made a TikTok. I think I sent it in the group chat, and this was one of the ones. And I don't know. It just seemed like a good pick, so I really liked it. So I'm kind of tempted. I'm like, ooh, that girl got some good taste. I want to see what other books she be reading. Right. So the first question, like, I kind of wrote down for us to, like, I don't know, get into the book review, is what was the moment that hooked you and made you want to keep on reading?
I would say, I think it was like you, where he ghosted her, and like, okay, I have to keep going.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's what really hooked me. And then once I found out that he was her neighbor.
Yes.
Like, this is just crazy. He hadn't told her, he didn't say nothing. Like, so yeah, that was the moment for me.
Yes, that, I will say initially me too, when, like, with the email thing, but then when he became her neighbor, I was shocked that he kept it a secret for so long. I feel like he did not need to do that. Like
he could say something.
Right.
Yeah. I thought that she knew that was him when she looked at his notebook in the elevator. I was like, okay, so she's about to find out that that's him. But I'm not that far. I'm like, I guess she didn't realize that was him until he was sleeping with, well, he thought he slept with Yolanda or whoever the woman was. And then he realized, like, he started having dreams about her. That's what me. I'm like, oh, okay. You're really her neighbor now. You really moved from wherever you live once more. I'm like, okay.
My thing is, like, I don't know why he was so surprised. He moved to that specific apartment because it reminded him of her. So I don't even know why he was so surprised that he, like, ran into her. Like, he knew she lived in the city. He knew she liked that location. I don't know. Right. That was really weird.
It did irritate me a lot, though. Like, he was really pissing me off because I'm like, why don't you just tell her? Like, just tell her. He was too busy, like, trying to protect, like, her feelings and all that. I'm like, you need to just be honest.
No, I definitely feel the same way. I don't know. I just feel like, I think it's, like, weird that he would just do this whole back and forth with her with the emails, and then when it's time for them to meet, just, like, ghost her. Like, I don't know. That is just so like, I just feel like none of that was necessary. Like, he didn't have to do any of that, and I feel like he made it, like, a way bigger deal than it needed to be.
Exactly.
Like, you know? But also, I think it's a little weird that she fell in love with a man that she never seen.
True.
Like, they didn't even FaceTime. Like, she did not know that man, and she fell in love, and I'm like, okay, sis.
She was really heartbroken, too.
Yes.
I'm like, you never even meant to do.
Right. The next question, and if you guys have, like, any other questions, I don't know, like, how, like, the review, but these are just a few that I wrote down. Thoughts on the characters. So how do you feel about Nick, Lily, the sisters, parents, co-workers? Like, how do you feel about them?
Like I said, Nick, he pissed me off. Like, I couldn't stand him a little bit because I'm like, I was getting frustrated. So I'm like, just tell her the truth. You're making it deeper than it needs to be. I liked Lily. I thought she was cute. I thought she was a cute character. I feel like her sisters, they fit, like, the characters, like, perfectly. I don't think who else. I already knew. So one of her sisters, I forgot her name. The boyfriend the music producer or whatever.
Yes, Violet. I think that's the sister. Yeah.
Yeah. I already knew from the jump, like, he's definitely cheating on her.
Yeah.
Like, I already red flag.
For me. I should have went a little further. Something told me. So that's why I'm like, I'm trying to balance school and reading. But I try to do it because that's my way of, like, having me time with my daughter.
Right.
Yes.
But I'm still, I know he's cheating. I kind of figured out.
I accidentally figured that out because, like, I was, like, about to pick up the book or whatever. I cracked it open, and it turned to the anti-wedding page. And I was like, dang. And I was, like, a couple chapters away, even though I had a feeling, because, like, he always busy. Like, it's long distance. And, like, I don't know, I just had a weird, like, she never give guys a chance, and then she randomly give this guy a chance. Now they engage real fast. Like, I just felt like he was cheating on her, like, from the beginning. And then I accidentally spoiled it for myself, so I was a little sad about that.
This is the one I was supposed to be getting married?
Yes.
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 I kind of figured because in the beginning, where the part I'm at, her sister's basically talking like, you just met him. Like, you really don't know him for real?
Yes.
I was like, girl, what you about to get yourself into?
Yeah, I was like, there's something. He's hiding something.
Oh my goodness. Did you guys read, like, the excerpt from the other book?
No, but I knew that she was coming out with another book. And isn't it based off the sister?
Yes, it's Violet's story.
Yeah.
So I read it because it was in the back of this book. And then I think it's, like, fast forward 6 months after he cheated on her. And it was just like, this whole book is about Violet. And I don't know, I feel like sometimes I get a weird attachment to characters in books. So I like Lily, so I don't want to move on from
That's
Lily.
how I felt.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I should even want to read that book because I have an attachment to Lily.
Yeah, and I'm like, can we just make another book based off Lily and Nick or something? Because I'm like, I want to read about the sister.
Yeah.
I want to read about Lily and Nick's story.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I don't know, like, what other questions? Do you guys have any other discussion questions you want to talk about? This was harder to do than I thought. Like, I was putting a lot of thought into this. I'm like, man. And then some of the questions were, like, so cheesy. And I'm like, I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be, like, a good, like, session. I don't know. It just feels really cheesy. Like, the first question in the back of the book, it says, Lily and Nick initially grow close without even having seen each other. Have you ever had a pen pal who became a close friend or romantic partner?
Yeah, I understand. Be for real. No.
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 Especially like with social media now, you're not really like each other.
Right, exactly. But you know what kind of frustrated me too about Lily? Is this whole career thing. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't know. I just want to like shake her. Like, girl, I want you to pull it together. And I don't know about y'all, but especially like, I don't know if you ever seen like those jokes on like TikTok about Gen Z at work. Like how they don't, that's me. One thing about me, I'm a log off. And I'm not staying no extra hours, no, none of that. And I'm like, girl, set some boundaries. Like, why are you letting your boss like walk over? But I took that personally though, so maybe that's why it was upsetting me.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that too, because it's like she knows, like she knew her worth, but continued to just let her boss degrade her. And why are you doing this to yourself? I feel like when you keep doing that, you're gonna end up hating your job.
Yeah.
It's not like she hated her job, because as far as I got into it, I'm not that deep in the book. I'm like, dang, girl.
Yeah, because at the end, when it was like, oh, she would like left the office at like a decent time, and then her boss was like, oh, I need you to come back and print out these papers. Girl, no.
You nourished yourself.
Girl, no.
She would literally leave her place and go back to work just to print off some papers.
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so if I had to rate this book, I would definitely say for me personally, it's a 5 out of 5. And I was like a little annoyed I couldn't finish it faster just because like I would get really busy or I would have like a really long day because I normally like read right before I fall asleep. So I was like a little annoyed. I'm like, I didn't get to read my chapters tonight. Like that's how I was feeling. I was really trying to read it, but I think this book is like a 5 out of 5 for me.
I think so too. Definitely 5 out of 5 for me.
Now that you guys got to be inside of our book club, I'm going to rate Neighbor Favor. And a couple of the girls in the meeting, they also feel the same way that I do. But I would rate this book a 10 out of 10. It's a great book. Like it hooks you in the beginning when they're emailing, and then he abruptly stops when they're supposed to finally have their first video call. That hooked me from the beginning, because I'm just like, why would he do that? There's like nothing that would make you think that he would ghost her. There's like no inklings or anything, and we're like, you thought they were getting along so well, and then he just stops responding. That's insane. So after that, I just had to plow through. Like one girl in our book club, B, she read the book. So we normally start our books on the 1st of each month, and then we'll have a meeting at the end of the month. And on the 3rd, V texts the group chat and she's like, guys, I already finished the book, because it's that good. She literally finished it in 3 days. And so after like he initially ghosted her, it like hooks you, and then it just like fast forward, she fell in love with him, they fell in love with each other while they were emailing. So after he ghosted her and they didn't talk anymore, like she was heartbroken. Like she felt so terrible. He was working through things. I think the author does a really good job at describing how the characters are feeling, their surroundings, their environments, really like truly setting the tone for the book. And then at the end of the book, there are discussion questions in the book for the book club, but we did not go over those questions. We kind of just talked amongst ourselves. And then at the end of my book specifically, I'm not sure if this is in like all editions of the book, but there is an excerpt in this book, and this is about her sister Violet. So the two main characters in this book are Lily and Nick. Lily and Nick fall in love. Lily has two sisters, Violet and I forget the other sister's name. I want to say Rose, but I just know that's not right. But Violet was a sister inside this book, and I won't spoil what happened to the sister, but there is like is this a sequel? Oh, it's like another novel, like as a spin-off about this book. So this book is about Lily and her love life, and I think the next one is about Violet, her sister, and Violet's love life. And so I read a little excerpt of that, and I was talking to the girls in the book club, and I'm like, when I read books, I get like such a special attachment to characters, and so I feel like I have an attachment to Lily, so now I kind of don't want to read about Violet, even though this author writes so well. So if you want to look up any, like if you want to read any books like this by this author, 10 out of 10, I would 100% recommend Neighbor Favor. If I had to rate it, for me, it's a 10 out of 10, a 5 out of 5, however you want to do it. This is a good book. It's a good read. You get through this so easy. I'm going to read the back of this, though. It says, a shy bookworm enlists her charming neighbor to help her score a date, not knowing the obscure author she's been corresponding with is the sparkling and heart-fluttering romance by Christina Forrest. And then I'll read the rest. Shy, bookish, and admittedly awkward, Lily Green has always felt inadequate compared to the rest of the accomplished family who strive for Black excellence. She dreams of becoming a child's book editor, but she's been frustratingly stuck in nonfiction division for years without a promotion in sight. Lily finds escapism is her correspondence with her future fantasy author, and what begins as two lonely people connecting over email turns into tentative friendship and possibly something else Lily won't let herself entertain until he ghosts her without a word. Months later, Lily is still crushed, but she's determined to get a hold of her life, starting with finding a date to her sister's wedding. The perfect person to help her is Nick Brown, her charming, attractive new neighbor, who she feels drawn to for the reasons she can't explain. But little does she know, Nick is an author, her favorite fantasy author. Nick, who has his reasons for using a pen name and pushing people away, soon realizes that the beautiful, quiet girl from down the hall is the same Lily he fell in love with over email months ago. Unwilling to complicate things even more between them, he agrees to set her up with someone else, though for this simple favor between two neighbors is anything but not when he can't get her off his mind. So I feel like that perfectly summarizes the book, and if you, I don't know, you'll love this book. But thank you guys for tuning into our first book club meeting, our first review ever, and I'm so excited for more to come. The next book that we will be reading is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride, and I have a description pulled up on my phone. So it says, in 1972, when workers in Pottstown, Pennsylvania were digging the foundations for a new development, the latest thing they expected to find was a skeleton at the bottom of a well. Who the skeleton was and how it got there were two long-held secrets kept by residents of Chicken Hill, the dilapidated neighborhood where immigrant Jews and African Americans lived side by side among shared ambitions and sorrows. Chicken Hill was where Mosh and Chana Ludlow lived when Masha entered his theater and Chona ran a Heaven and Earth grocery store. When the state came looking for a deaf boy to institutionalize him, Chona and Nate Timblin, the black janitor at Masha's theater and the unofficial leader of the black community at Chicken Hill, who worked together to keep the boy safe. As these characters' stories overlap and deepen, it becomes clear how the people who live in the margins of white Christian America struggle with what they must do to survive. When the truth is finally revealed about what happened on Chicken Hill, the part of the town's white establishment played in it, McBride shows us that even in dark times, it is love and community, heaven and earth that sustain us. Bringing his mastery storytelling skills to this deep faith in humanity to the Heaven and Earth grocery store, James McBride has written a novel as compassionate as Deacon King Kong and as inventive as the Good Lord Bird. So this is our next book on the list. A girl in our book club recommended it, so we will be starting that on March 1st. So if you would like to join along, please let me know and start reading on March 1st, and then we will review that book in about a month when we come back from our next meeting. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.